no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You guys are watching the Raiders Board. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, ready to get into the 6 biggest Raiders rumors circling around the internet after that Raiders loss up against the Chargers. So what you guys are going to see here are 6 big stories, and I got a lot of Chucky heads. That's why I'm wearing my Chucky head shirt from Black Sunday. So the Raiders, according to Stephen A. Smith, they are the biggest frauds in all of the NFL. Stephen A., you can go after yourself. I'm going to give this one 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. I think it's actually really funny how a guy like Stephen A., who, by the way, has no business talking about football, and it's an embarrassment to ESPN, and it's really an embarrassment to himself when he tries to talk about it. So here's the issue, right? You got Stephen A., who has never really been able to get much done here, and the fact that he called the Raiders frauds after putting the Raiders in his top 6 just 2 weeks ago kind of is funny to me. I get it. They lost one game, and they played bad. There's no doubt about it. But there's no way that a fraudulent team can beat teams like the Ravens, and yes, the Dolphins and the Steelers didn't play well, but give me a break, Stephen A. He claims that they haven't beaten anybody good, and I've always understand that he's going to be a hater, and I think he's a hater, and a lot of people in the media are Raiders haters because simply they know Raider Nation's going to react. So you know what? Steven, you got me to react, but at the end of the day, I'm going to stick up for my team, and I'm going to stick up for every single person that's a Raider fan, because the fact that you're going to call us frauds, the biggest fraud on TV right now is you, and it's really as simple as that. So I'm going to give this one 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. Raiders aren't frauds. They're a good football team, and if you hear anybody talking else about that, just get out of here. I mean, I get it. I get the fact that they lost one game, but it's hard to win 3 out of 4 games. It's hard to go 4-0 in the NFL. Breaking news. All right, so here, guys, again, we got a lot of stories coming up here, and I didn't rank these in any particular order, but you're going to see a lot of trending stories. So the fact that Stephen A. called the Raiders frauds, he basically went on to say they're not going to make the playoffs either. So let me know down in the comments. Raiders are 3-1 right now. Do you think that they're going to make the playoffs? I want you to type Y for yes, or you can go ahead and type your N for no. I'm going to type my Y for yes. Let's go to the next story here. The Raiders need to make some offensive line changes. Yep. 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. And if you hear me say 4 Chucky heads, I want you guys typing 4 as well. I get it. The Raiders right now, they have a bottom 5 offensive line. And actually, their matchup they got this week against the Bears might be the only offensive line that I would say is realistically worse than the Raiders. Colt Miller, really the only reliable player. And what you saw the Chargers do is they didn't go anywhere near Miller. They just went to the right side, and that's where they really got in trouble. The Raiders can't run block. They can't pass block. I mean, it's just been a very frustrating thing. And the perfect way to just see how frustrated Raiders are, well, go watch Derek Carr's press conference. He was so upset. He didn't say it was on the offensive line, but you can kind of connect the dots here. And if Derek's going to show his frustrations, that kind of goes to show how bad it's been. Now, if you're a numbers guy, I don't blame you. I'm kind of in the same boat here. Here's what the Raiders' offensive line grades are according to PFF. Colt Miller, 72.1. That's ranked 16th out of 73 offensive tackles in the league. John Simpson, 46.8. That's ranked 67th out of 75. Andre James, 38.3, worst in the league. Jermaine Illuminor, 57.9, 48 out of 75. And then Alex Leatherwood, 31.1, the worst in the NFL. Now, one of the things that I saw some people talking about on Twitter was this, that Gruden's not going to do the panic button, that he has confidence in the offensive line. He also gave us 2 cents about Joey Bosa talking about Derek Carr, and what Gruden said was this: we love Derek Carr. Well, how about this, Gruden? You better change your offensive line for Derek Carr's safety. If you like your quarterback, if you respect your quarterback, you're going to make a change on the offensive line. I don't care if it's a tackle. I don't care if it's at guard, if it's at center. The only position that is 100% safe on that O-line is Colton Miller. So you can say all these things you want. You can say that you're not going to push the panic button. But if you're going to sit here and look at me and every single person in that press conference and say that we love our quarterback, well, show Derek that you love him and actually be able to protect him. Now, if the Raiders go out and they make an offensive line move, we're going to make a video about it. But if you think that the Raiders need to go out and add an offensive lineman, I want you to like this video right now. And if every single person that watched the Raiders game yesterday or that came across this video today doesn't like this thing, I don't know what I got to do, because this offensive line is one of the biggest nightmares for this team, and it's so frustrating because the defense is playing well. The offense looks legit. The only thing holding us back is the offensive line. So if you think we need to add somebody, please go ahead and like the video. Now, again, if they go out and sign somebody, I guarantee you we're going live. I guarantee you're going to get a video about it. So to make sure that you don't miss that video, or to make sure you never miss any news or rumors here, go ahead, subscribe to the show. It takes 2 seconds underneath the video. It helps me out a lot. And there's a little bell. That little bell underneath the video is your notification bell. If you click that, you're going to get notified when I release videos. So if you want to know exactly how to get the notifications literally right on your phone like a text message, hopefully I don't have any booty calls on here, but there you go. Go down to your settings app, scroll down, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and then turn on allow notifications. 5 people who I know have their notifications on: Sandy Valdez, Lemon, Tyler, Jamie, Untouchable Raider. I'm going to give shout-outs to people. My next show is coming up here that turn on their notifications, that pride themselves on trying to be the very first comment on a video. Believe it or not, when you guys comment really quick on a show, it helps me out a lot. So please, turn on the notifications. I don't want you guys to miss anything. Next thing coming up here, is it time to sign an offensive guard or a right tackle? I'm sure you can tell by my last spiel. I'm going to say absolutely it is. 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. The Raiders need to do something at OG, and I'm not talking about an original gangster or a RT like a retweet. I'm talking about the offensive line here. There's plenty of talented players out there. The Raiders need to learn how to protect Carr a little bit better, and the fact that the offense can't run the football, it's making them a little bit one-dimensional, and my biggest fear is this. When you're as one-dimensional as the Raiders are, if teams start trying to just take away the pass by maybe blitzing or just dropping back, that could even impact your game plan even more. So the Raiders need to go out and they need to add somebody. Now, a lot of times people are like, well, who could they add? I would say right now the top 4 right tackles in the league: Mitchell Schwartz, Roderick Johnson, DeMar Dotson, and Rick Wagner. If the Raiders go out and sign any 4 of these players here, you put them at right tackle, you kick Alex Leatherwood in at right guard. Now, what about the offensive guard position? Because I will say that I actually think that center Andre James is a bigger issue than Leatherwood, and that the offensive guard play is kind of... It's not worse than Leatherwood or James, but it's definitely a major issue as well. There's 5 names right here: J.R. Sweezy, Forrest Lamp, Joe Dahl, Nick Easton. Those would be the first 4 names that I would call. David DeCastro is simply on this list because he's the most notable, and he's probably the most talented when fully healthy. The issue is, I don't know if he's actually fully healthy. So let me know, out of those 9 offensive linemen, which offensive lineman should the Raiders go out and sign? Please let me know if there's a name that I'm missing. If you're like, Mitch, you're leaving off this guy, please let me know. And if you're like, Mitch, you're overreacting, how about this? I think one of the easiest ways to be able to tell how good an offensive line is not just one player. Let's look at 4 players here. Does everybody think that Josh Jacobs is a good football player? I'd say yes. Do you think Kenyon Drake's a good football player? I'd say yes. What about Alec Ingold? Okay, yeah. Peyton Barber, it might still be up in the air a little bit. But you know what? Barber's averaging 3.9 yards per carry. Jacobs averaging 3.2 yards per carry. Kenyon Drake, 2.1. Ingold, 0. The fact that our running backs right now through 4 weeks, running backs / fullbacks, are averaging 3.2 yards per carry, it's not their problem. It's the offensive line problem. So you need to go ahead and take advantage of this right now and sign somebody. Now, today's show sponsor is BetUS. Major shout out to them. If you want to bet on the Raiders making the playoffs, Derek Carr MVP, or if you just want to stick with a simple bet on over-under spread, Raiders up against the Bears, you can go ahead and do so at chatsports.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders125. So if you put down $100, you're going to get $125 for free. Put down $200, watch this math, $250 for free. Be a big baller. $500 down, $625 for free. If you want to know some of the bets that I'm making this week, I took the Titans -4.5 against Jacksonville. I know they just lost the Jets, but I think it's a bounce-back game. Atlanta and New York, give me the over in 46. Pittsburgh and Denver, give me the over 40 points in that one. Packers -3.5 against the Bengals. Cowboys -7.5 against the Giants. Sorry, Marsh. All right, y'all. Let's got 3 more stories coming up here. So we're talking about offensive linemen. People ask, who's the most likely offensive line addition? I personally think it's Forrest Lamp, so I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads, and I'm going to say it's pretty likely. The only reason why I'm giving it 3 Chucky heads is because I could also see Gruden or even Mayock going out and trying to pick somebody off a practice squad. That is a definite potential, like Jared Jones maybe, could definitely be an option there, or even David Sharp, two names that I would definitely consider. But Lamp, he was a second-round pick in 2017, and out of all the free agents out there, I believe this would be the most notable and probably the most likely for the Raiders to go out and get. Started 16 games last season for the Chargers, so Bradley's at least seen him, and I think that does kind of help when you're looking at players at this point of the year. He was penalized only one time, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that's maybe a little bit more reliable on the interior, who also has some upside. He's had some injury issues in the past, but the fact that he played 16 games last year, I do have a little bit more confidence in him. Now, in terms of snaps, 1,174. Now, you're going to sit here and you're going to look at the grades. You're going to say, but Mitch, those aren't very good grades. And I'm going to say, you know what? You are right. However, the Chargers' offensive line last year was really, really bad, and Forrest tried to hold it together. I really think if you put him on a little bit of a better line, he'd have better production. Because when you look at just his singular stats, and I'm talking about penalties, only one. He gave up only 2 sacks, 14 quarterback hits, 38 pressures. He definitely can be better, but he's an upgrade over every single guard that we have on our roster right now. So I'm saying go out and get him. Now, if the Raiders sign Lamp, what would be your one-word reaction to that? Now, when I instantly think of this, I think of the Anchorman skit with, Brick, and he's like, I love Lamp. I love Lamp. I don't know if that's one word, but that's what I'm going to say. I love Lamp. That would be my one-word reaction. I really think it would help out this team a lot. Let's talk about Trayvon Mullen, because he went down with a foot injury, and this one scares me a little bit. Is he going to IR? I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads, and people are talking. Now, I haven't talked to my guy that I usually talk to at the Raiders and kind of get the inside scoop on this one. So I'm going to go off the cuff a little bit here. I'm giving it 2 Chucky heads because when Mullen went down, not only did he get carted off, they rolled him doubtful very, very quickly. When you see something like that happen a lot of times in the NFL, that's usually a bad sign. And if they're not going to have Mullen, it's going to be a major issue because, let's face it, he's the second best cornerback on our team right now in terms of being an outside corner. I will say Nate Hobbs has also played better than he has. But not having Mullen, the other reason why I'm going to say he might go to IR is because the Raiders' Week 8 bye. If you don't think that he's going to be ready for Week 5 against Chicago, maybe he'll be ready for Denver. But if you're sitting here saying, well, why don't we just rest him? Put him on IR for 3 weeks. He gets 4th week of rest. Have him ready to go for Week 9. Do I want that to happen? No. But when I really think about the injury itself and how quickly they designated him, he is going to have an MRI on Tuesday, so we'll try to figure out exactly what's going on with him. Now, if you guys haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram. My DMs are open for a reason. I'm going to be posting stuff pretty frequently. Also, I do have a little bit of a favor to ask, and it's going to be my girlfriend's birthday, October 6th, which is when this video is going to be going out. If you guys could please wish her a happy birthday on IG as well. You can find her on my Instagram. I'm going to make a post about her, but her Instagram is @JustAlexSophia. Send her a happy birthday wish. I would appreciate it. All right, let's go to the last story here. The Raiders to sign a cornerback. This one's kind of interesting, so this kind of stems off the Trayvon Mullen injury. I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads, and I believe people are talking about this one, and if they're not, well, they're going to start talking about it. Because not only was Mullen hurt, Damon Arnett also left Week 4. And when you really think about the depth, the Raiders had Amik Robertson, Casey Hayward, and Nate Hobbs. Those were the only 3 active cornerbacks on that team. The fact that there's some notable names out there are a possibility, but even though I say they're going to go out and sign somebody, I don't really see them going out and signing the 4 notable names that when I talk about cornerbacks, I get asked a lot about. I don't see the Raiders going out and signing these 4 players here on my right, realistically, too often, which we'll get to in a sec. Some of the guys on the practice squad that maybe they could go ahead and promote, Jordan Brown, they could maybe potentially go ahead and promote him. Robert Jackson could be a player that they go ahead and promote. I don't know if that's going to happen. Or the Raiders don't go out and sign anybody because Keyshawn Nixon, he's healthy, and maybe who's still on IR, maybe he can come back. Because if he's healthy, that's going to be your replacement for Arnett or even a replacement for Trayvon Mullen. Now, if all those guys aren't ready, maybe they go out and sign one of these 4 players here. However, Darqueze Dennard, he's more of an inside corner for the slot. They need an outside guy. I don't really know if I want to see a reunion with Gareon Conley or Prince Amukamara, if I'm being 100% honest. DJ Hayden could be a name. Now, those 4 guys are people to think about. So what I want you to do right now is name a corner that you think the Raiders could sign. Those 4 players were based on the overall talent of a free agent cornerback. I believe those were the top 4. Coming up right now here, I'm going to give you the 2 names that I believe are the most likely, where if the Raiders go out and sign a corner that's a free agent, here's what they're going to go out and sign. The first name, Bleedy Ren Wilson. Remember him? He was on the Raiders this offseason. He was cut before 53-man rosters, and I really think about what Gruden looks for, and also a guy that's got some Gus Bradley connections. Bleedy Ren Wilson is the first name that they would call. The second name, Devontae Bosby. Another player to definitely keep in mind, another guy who the Raiders worked out this offseason. Usually this is what Gruden does. Gruden usually finds a player who he's got some connections with, and that's the route they go. I don't know 100% if they're going to go out and get somebody, but if they do, those are 2 names to keep in mind.